I have overcome many journeys, trials, and tribulations in Project Zomboid, but what lies ahead is a tale of my most ambitious journey yet. An adventure spanning hundreds of days, with insane zombies and the construction of the ultimate ocean village. And along this journey, I'd meet countless survivors from all across the Project Zomboid world. Because this is unlike anything you have ever seen. Random hordes, sprinter zombies, an ice age, unexpected mutations, an entire civilization. And it all starts with a solitary ocean base. This is a tale filled with twists and turns, with the ultimate question being, can I survive long enough to bring together the hundreds of survivors who remain, or will this harbor and the ocean beyond become my doom? Welcome to the beginning of a new story. A story that begins with a single click. Let's start the story all the way at the beginning, because at the beginning, before everything, there was just four of us. Mr. Brollow, Peaches, Gloomin, and me. Waking up on this boat to chaos.
God. Get the fuck back, get the fuck back. Oh my god. Get back, Kezza, get back.
Now, I love crunching zombie domes as much as the next guy, but this was an insane zombies run. And in case you don't know what that means, here's a sneak peek into the future. Turn around, turn around, turn around! But for now, since this area wasn't central, these Zeds were manageable. But we'd still need to clear the entirety of this boat as soon as possible, because this civilian cruiser would one day become our home. So we worked our way through the narrow hallways, opening each door and tackling the zombies that lurked within. This was pretty risky. We were equipped with makeshift weapons at best. Now, on this journey, I had awoken with three companions. The first, Mr. Brollow. He was an experienced carpenter, a trained survivor, and a capable friend to help me tackle the challenges to come. But if I had set out to survive with three experienced players, I would certainly have a much easier first few weeks. That's why my other two companions shared a grand total of 15 hours between them. And Gloomin, our trusty British burglar, had all 15 of those hours. That left Peaches. Peaches had never stepped foot in this post-apocalyptic wasteland before. Just keeping my companions alive would be a challenge on its own. With the cruiser cleared, we made our way down the steps to the harbor. This was an old shipping yard, complete with containers of gear, various buildings, and this ship. But this wasn't the only ship in this port. That's because in this journey, eventually I would have to face an old foe that I had encountered on a previous journey of mine. We worked our way through the already sizable horde that had amassed in front of the cruiser, and the scale of taking care of Gloomin and Peaches started to become immediately clear.
Yeah, boys, it's not looking good for old Peaches.
Did you get bitten?
I'm probably gonna die soon.
Let me look at you. Brollow, can you help Gloomin for a second at the front? Did you take the painkillers?
I just did, yes.
Okay, go get some water, just walk down. You shouldn't be getting worse. You're bandaged up. Unless you got a deep wound, but I don't know how you would have got a deep wound. Peaches had ventured off a little too far and had already acquired a couple of nasty injuries. I could only hope that they wouldn't lead to infections. With the amount of survivors that were alive out there, there was certainly a chance of acquiring cures for the Nox virus, but we were nowhere near comfortable enough with our area to venture out in search of one. With his condition starting to improve, I took Gloomin with me to start making my way to the nearest warehouse. Back up, Gloomin, back up. Run. All right.
He's invisible for me.
Oh, I must have made that fun for you. We knew that these warehouses would hold plenty of weapons and armor to assist us in our journey. This was by no means the kind of adventure where we'd be stuck fighting infinite hordes with screwdrivers or nail guns. We knew that there was plenty of weaponry and armor inside this shipping yard, but that didn't mean a whole lot. And without ruining the tales to come, these zombies would get tougher, stronger, faster, and with more survivors finding their way to our base, food, ammunition, and weapons would get more and more scarce as time went on. All that is to say, this is a brutal journey. We cleared the last of the stragglers inside the warehouse and found the first hefty stockpiles to loot, getting our hands on an initial supply of guns, ammo, and armor. In the interest of exploring further beyond the ship, I made my way along the cold ground towards the first group of zombies I saw. With no interest in risking my life, I decided to put my new rifle to use. This attracted some extra zombies, but it was a risk I'd have to take since I didn't have a strong enough melee weapon to defend from a large group yet. Fortunately, attracting more zombies had the added side effect of helping us get our hands on our first cure. At this point, our biggest problem was that we were extremely short on food and drink. Sustaining the lives of 4 people, 2 of which weren't able to scavenge on their own, was a big hurdle. The 2 of us opened up the nearby office building and made our way through, which fortunately had a little bit of food and water to keep us going for now. Heading home, it seemed that Peaches was starting to feel a little bit better after his injuries had begun to heal. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. Where did you learn that dance move?
So I'm reading it off a card, I guess. Here, you know what? It's yours, okay?
Do you want me to throw dollar bills at you?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm alright. Next item on the agenda was to get ourselves a car. Fortunately enough, Glooman was inexperienced, but he knew a thing or two about hot wiring vehicles. So we headed west for a Jeep we had spotted earlier, but for some reason he was struggling to hot wire it.
Where's hot wire?
Let me hop in again.
Sure.
Let me hop in. Oh, the key's in the car. Huh, okay, hop in.
Oh my god.
Oh, this thing moves! By a stroke of luck, there was a little bit of gas inside and the keys, so we were able to drive down the road and get our bearings. But traversing any further was not going to be easy with the amount of Zeds that had congregated. This would become a running theme. So we kitted up and prepared to work our way down on foot, with the goal of clearing as many as possible. That's always good. After clearing the first group, I got a chance to check out the warehouse further down the road, and it was much the same as any normal warehouse, with numerous shelves filled with tools, materials, and most importantly, melee weapons. So clearing it out would be a necessity to supply Mr. Brollow with resources to construct our future home. We had a vague grand plan for what our base would look like, but I couldn't really anticipate how insane it was going to get. With all the zombies around and many of them being out of sight, I held the entrance from outside while Brollow would clear the Zeds within. That was until Brollow disconnected. And now I had a problem because if he woke back up, the horde would be all around him and it would certainly be the death of him. Meaning I had to bait the zombies down the road as much as possible to give him some space to work with. There were so many zombies in this area that I just ran completely out of ammo, but having acquired an axe earlier, I was pretty capable of holding my own with a melee weapon. At least that is what I thought. Be careful with this thing, holy fuck. This axe was strong, but the speed of each hit meant that any missed swing would be extremely dangerous. At the time, I didn't have much choice, but I was certainly a little bit more careful from this point onwards.
Guys, I need help.
This was one of the more difficult challenges of this adventure because, for the most part, even if I could hold my own, I had to look out for our 2 more inexperienced companions while they were learning the ropes, especially if they had to tackle a sprinter, which fortunately wasn't the case so far. With the main group of Zeds dealt with, I took the Jeep over to the factory so that I could help Brollow with collecting anything he'd need. While I was there, I checked the shelves for a weapon that would get me into a little bit less trouble, and that wasn't too hard to find. Garden scythes are an extremely valuable weapon to obtain, but their durability really left something to be desired. Nevertheless, it was certainly an upgrade on my axe, which had almost been the death of me already. Once we'd moved a lot of the resources back to our temporary storage area on the ship's deck, I made sure to check in with Peaches to see how he was feeling. How you feeling, man?
A little defeated.
Why is that?
Feel like I can't go anywhere, do anything without dying.
Let me have a look at you.
Oh yeah? No, don't look at me.
Come here.
Don't look at me.
Come here.
Nope.
Hey.
Don't look at me. No, look, I have full health. That's all you need to know.
Stop. What have you done?
Maybe I was yelling for you guys and you couldn't hear me. I went to get you this burrito.
Oh Oh, Peaches! Oh my god! God. Oh my god! I can't vouch for you after this. You hold on to this, you're gonna need it. Never in my life have I seen someone get infected 4 times. Just stay here, don't get hurt anymore. So the cure we acquired on day 2 was already gone. And this was a brutal reminder of the difficulty of surviving out here with survivors who are not used to this kind of opposition. It brought even greater worry since I hadn't seen Gloomin in a couple of days and I was beginning to get worried. At this point, I just had to assume he was holed up somewhere nearby. Since we had used all the medical supplies we'd found in the Eastern warehouse, it was time for me to pop open some of these heavy shipping crates. There was plenty of supplies inside, certainly enough for us right now. But we'd have to be conservative because we knew in the future we'd be welcoming as many lone survivors as we could from the wilderness. The same restriction applied to food, but we didn't really have any food, so I'd have to go alone further down the road and see if I could find some. I decided to drop by the warehouse since there was an unlooted section that I hadn't checked earlier, and this decision would lead me to something far more useful to tackle the zombies ahead. This garden brush cutter, even though I didn't realize it yet, was pretty much as powerful as a garden scythe, with much more durability. After finding this brush cutter, I headed across the road to what appeared to be some kind of doctor's office, and through the window I managed to spot a small cafeteria. With most of my companions starting to get extremely hungry, this would get us by for the time being, and with Peaches still in medical shambles, extra food would help him heal fast. For now, while I was one of the only survivors roaming around healthy, I had to focus on gathering as many resources as possible. From the warehouse, from the shipping containers, everything that seemed valuable, I'd load up on the trolley and bring it back to the cruiser. Even if I had enough armor and weapons to cover myself, I never knew if we would find more survivors out in the complex or further in the wilderness. Day 6, for many reasons, would be a memorable one. That is not good. I rushed to grab what I could from the cafeteria while it was still fresh. Things that I knew would go rotten quickly, like fresh meat. I had been expecting the power to go off prematurely, but I hadn't expected it this soon, and it would make our food problem all the more difficult moving forward. And as if that wasn't enough, I was collecting resources from the containers, and I was greeted by the distant voice of Mr. Brollow, saying something that turned everything on its head. What? 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 What?
Where are you, Kezza? Kezza, look!
I mean...
Look! I found Glue
What?
Man! No!
Oh man! What happened? What happened to him?
I don't know. I just found him wandering around the streets dead, man.
Oh.
He wasn't himself anymore.
Oh, Clayman. What happened?
He was down this way. He was down on the other end of the
Oh
pier.
my god. Oh man. Oh man.
Damn it, Gloomin.
Why did he go off alone? Why did he do that? This was a death that rested on my shoulders. It was my responsibility to protect them. And while I was wandering around last night, Gloomin moved a little bit too far from home. This would by no means be the last time I'd have to mourn someone on this journey, but I didn't expect to lose a friend so soon. Gloomin was our friend, our burglar, our brother. He wasn't afraid to walk headfirst into danger. His legacy lived on with us. He died to the Nox virus on day 6. There was little time to mourn our fallen brother because we faced a small horde that had moved into the area, one that Brollow and I dealt with together. After taking down the small group, we decided to work our way out towards the front gates of the complex, but the somber mood in the shipping yard was about to take a slightly less somber turn. That's a big fight, though.
Any extra bottles? By
Wait, do you hear that? Someone's shooting.
Wait, what?
Someone's shooting.
Oh, I hear that.
Hey!
Yeah, we're going to them. What are you doing out here, man?
Hey, you're good?
Hey, yeah. I just kept running towards civilization.
I'm glad to see you.
Jesus. Hey, follow us, quick.
What are you guys doing out here?
This is home for us now. Fish, we're trying to rebuild out here. After a rough morning, our hopes were picked up by the arrival of Fish Store, a farmer and fisherman by trade. This was convenient because food was already scarce in the area, and having a farm would be essential in creating our future village. We gave Fish Store a quick tour of the house, but we were all starting to get pretty hungry. So we left Fish Store to his own devices while we moved on to one of the big plans we had set out previously, clearing the second ship. And it turns out this was by no means an easy task. It's a good thing I'm pretty good with a gun. There's a lot more coming down. Once we had worked our way into the ship, we still had to be cautious since leftover zombies were hidden within the narrow corridors. We made our way into the cafeteria, which provided some immediate sustenance, but it was still a little cagey inside. Oh, oh, oh. And like I had mentioned, there were plenty of surprises in store in this ship. Oh, I cleared the horde down here. With the majority of the Zeds cleared, we were able to spend some time scanning the ship for useful resources. Brollow focused on picking up a lot of the potatoes in the ship's hull, which would leave us alive for a little while. And if this technically isn't the ship's hull, you're just gonna have to let it slide because I have no idea about the parts of a ship. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. I headed back to our base to collect a trolley and returned, clearing a few zombies and making my way to the weapons storeroom to collect whatever could come in handy. And after returning home once again, I collected the last of the resources and a heap of the potatoes to add to our stocks. At this point, we had acquired an ice box, but a generator was starting to become more of a necessity. Unfortunately, it was the one thing that we hadn't seen yet in our travels. Outside the main walls of our area were more warehouses, particularly industrial ones, but the entire area was flooding with zombies, like nothing we had fought so far. Venturing out that way would be pretty dangerous, but we would soon be forced to confront the great unknown. Peaches, what's going on, man? You're not feeling queasy at all?
I am, but like I have not been bitten. I just have a cut.
Yeah, Peaches, sometimes cuts and lacerations can mean you're infected with the zombie virus.
Are you nauseous?
Secondly, yeah, I still have that. I'm still not.
I think you're infected.
Yeah, I'm losing some health a little bit here.
Do we have a cure?
No.
He started losing health. Peaches had started dying from an infection he must have acquired earlier, which means we were officially on the clock. If we didn't find a cure from a hazmat zombie in the very near future, we would lose another survivor. I was not ready to give up. I wasn't going to let Peaches down like I had let down Gloomin, which meant our only chance was to go to war in search of one. A war against the Horde. A war beyond the walls. Do you see any at the front? I can't see one. Yeah, there's a gas station now. Good to know. Yeah, just find that fucking hazmat, bro. Funny how you can't find something when you need it. Big group down here. Follow, there might be one down here, hold on.